Hello, Greytex. Thanks for your video response. It's pretty interesting, and you've asked me a number of questions. So instead of just flooding the questions on your answer your forum, your response column, I just thought I'd ask a few questions here and try to answer some. Let's see if I can clarify them. Anyway, since you're a better vlogger than me, I'm just gonna give you that. What the hell? It's like I just keyed a few things for the beginning of the video right now, and I just want to see if we can go through some of this. Because, gosh, I could go through all 36 minutes, but we're gonna have to break these videos up just a little bit. I mean, if this is becoming a tired exercise to you, I could just drop it, but I generally like to see if we can get somewhere with this, because I noticed in a couple of the later parts, I feel bad making that video because I wasn't entirely as clear as I wanted to be. And the only reason I noticed it was because you said a few things that were perfectly good examples of something that could be misrepresented. I didn't specify specifically what back part of my sentences I was talking about. I don't know. Maybe I get a little nervous when I get a little tongue-tied when I'm nervous. Anyway, really good skills for vlogger, you know. But I only get freaking tongue-tied when I'm nervous. Anyway. Okay, let's start out with the 35-second mark. And I'll try not to get too snippy here, because I noticed you were being pretty nice. Wait, what the heck is this? Okay. Hey, I gotta get over to... Boy, I just envy the people who could just do this, like, you know... They just reach over and tap something, and it's like, oh, there it is. Oh, okay, there it is. Alright, let's hear this.
Some of my thoughts are secular, some are skeptic, and everything else. I haven't noticed a desire to say I am identifying as one of those things, which is mutually exclusive to the other thing. I haven't felt a need to do that, but you're telling me that there kind of is a justification for dividing in that way. And my video is me making an argument. You're doing it for the division. You're not doing it because it's justified by a division. You're creating a division because you want there to be a division.
Okay. My video is acting weird. Excuse me. That could be true. I mean, I'm self-conscious. I'm self-aware enough I'm self-objective enough, I should say, to realize that you could have a point. But these points are very fine. And just because I'm not totally denouncing all your arguments, oh, no, that's all wrong, doesn't mean in a very fine nuance there isn't a justification from my point of view that almost follows yours, but in a slight deviance of topic or nuance of an issue. My point is becoming a little bit different than yours, and it makes a big difference. So basically, let me listen to that again, because I have a bad memory, to be honest.
Some of my thoughts are secular, some are skeptic, and everything else.
Okay.
Make me a skeptic, then. So if I'm a skeptic, then what else should I think?
Okay. Let me tell you how this secular versus skeptical thing evolved, in at least in my way of thinking about it. And yes, this is a lot to do with comment sections and arguing and a lot of things. Let's just get the invisible elephants out of the room, the whole chorus line of them. Why don't we do that, eh? Thunderfoot, Pat Condell, Darwa Films, the whole group around Coughlin, Elevator Gate, feminists, pro-sex, anti-sex. That has an important point in there because it's to do with how skeptic is set up and how it leans towards radical feminism. Something else to consider. And basically, Zom gets Chris. As well as other people have higher thing. Like another one to consider is Bonnet Dance. And just all across the board, there's been this whole fight, what I'm trying to characterize as secular, progressive, anti-bigoted against religion views versus Enlightenment, theist, anti-theist, skeptical views. So yes, I read a few comments in that last video, in this video I'm talking about, which is, by the way, being skeptical about skeptics. And there was things. Oh, I just forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry. Someone said something important, and I missed it. I just blanked it out. But the point was that, they asked, did I have a special meaning for that? The skeptics. And yes, this is what I'm talking about on the special meaning. It's the best way I could quantify this whole across the range argument into simple terms. And yes, you're right. It is a division. But see, I think the point is that you're saying the division exists, I believe, because it's just going to be another division and another division. The division lives for itself. And I'm saying no. The division is a definitive description of the reasons for its own existence. That's the subtle nuance. I don't accept what you're saying. I'm saying there is a valid point for these divisions, and they do not just live for themselves. That might be a part of online. I imagine a great part. You have a great point there. There's no denying that point. But to just say that that's the only reason for it, when we can see a lot of other things, and specifically social, progressive, anti-bigotry in secularism or anti-religious bigotry in secularism versus skeptical anti-theism. That's the division right there. I'm sitting here tapping my keyboard or my notes, my clipboard. So you're saying computer terms, keyboard. My clipboard, that is the division. Hey, I was a former Lutheran. We used to be nailing things on walls and writing this stuff down, This is the division! Great text! And I nailed it up on the wall! Okay, now I'm just being goofy. But that is the division! Okay, I'm gonna start. I'm used to making a lot of, blah videos and stuff, and you were more than nice on this one, so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna pull into the theatrics and stuff, because I know you're better than I am. Alright. Now let's go to 437. Shall we? Alright, let's see. I'm at 139. Let's see. 437. Okay, 435. Let's see what that says.
And smaller um, segregations,
Oh, this is just me.
topics that are just over war.
Wait.
In other words, we supposedly would. So, if you're not going to get an abort, then why are you doing it?
Okay. Oh, shit. I'm way ahead.
Just
Wait.
like we did
Wait.
polarized into one side or the other because you are used to polarizing.
No.
You're used to saying, hey, I'm left or right. You're used to saying, like, you're black or white. There's atheism versus theism debate isn't the cause of you being divisive. Okay? It's one of the subdivisions, not the division. Really gratifying out of it. A validation. He didn't exactly say these words, but
Wait, I want to go on beyond my yammering. I'm trying to get this right, but...
ridiculous straw manning and just go down to that last stage. And I argue,
oh, okay.
when people respond to people don't want to be individuals.
That was it. Individuals. What else would a secularist say? Really? Okay, why don't we just go on past all that and just admire our uniqueness? But not in that freaking libertarian conservative way. No, you know. Oh, by the way, when I make these arguments... Oh, that's way back in the other video. I should address that a bit later. But, I'll forget that part. I'll just, I'll go to that in another part of the video. I was going to say that I'm not talking about conservative in... Okay, most atheists, you could safely say, are pretty much social conservatives. In other words, they believe in law. See, there's a difference between social and conservative. There's a difference between social and cultural conservatives. There's also a difference between social and cultural progressives, although no one uses the term cultural progressive. And it's basically, well, at least for conservative, as told to me by Wikipedia, so it seemed to make sense to me, that cultural conservative is like me, someone who believes in limited government and does not believe in the government making laws about culture. They want small government. And usually that's applied to both social and economic views on issues. Basically libertarian. But I'm more of, I want limited government on cultural conservative issues. In other words, I want to get rid of the nanny state. And that's different than the other atheists, because they're usually social progressives, which means they want laws that entail progressive values. And I don't. Not too much. You have to have some, because otherwise you backslide into statism, and well, not statism, but not collectivism, but just bad things. You know, you end up without civil rights, basically, and that's not good. And you know, you just have to have some social justice, because you can't zero sum culture any more than you can economy. I believe that anyway. But mostly, when I'm talking about fellow atheists, I'm not talking about them being conservative. I'm talking about them being social progressive. Well, I would say cultural progressive, but no one uses that term. So just progressive on social issues. You know. Now, individuals. All right. Now let's ask her. Did I answer about individuals? God, I wish I could.
Segregations, topics that are just over war. In other words, we supposedly would. So, if you're not going to get an abort, then why are you doing it?
Why am I doing it? Well, of course, and to be honest, and I consider this part of free thinking, free speech, or free thought, is you are objectively forthright. You're as honest as you could be. You're not too honest, but you're not a liar, but you're just not completely frigging carrying the guy's argument, is what I'm trying to say. But on the points, you're not duplicitous. And I don't believe in that. Now, if I'm having an argument with somebody, screw them, right? If this was a firefight, well, I'm not very good at those, so I'd probably get my ass handed to me. So, why lie? But what's the reward? The reward, honestly, for me, is to turn on a video, and after seeing all this frustrating crap that I do not agree with, and have no outlet to say, the reward is to friggin' come out. Wait a minute, I gotta remember, this is gonna be replayed and possibly responded to, so, I could get a bull roar going. Well, okay, so it is kind of empowerment. You see it on the left all the time. I mean, when I say the left, I mean social progressive. You see it, progressives on social issues. I do it myself. About atheism, about a number of things. Yeah, basically atheism. I don't get too knee-jerked about anything leftist too much. I have a skepticism about it. In other words, I have a healthy restraint. Well, I don't know about restraint, but just I wonder is basically what I'm trying to say. I have a hesitant doubt, even on social or economic progressive things, because I'm an economic progressive. Yes, I looked it up, and the closest thing I could think of is that I'm something of a left libertarian, but really, I'm not Marxist like Wikipedia says it is, but I would see myself honestly as some type of left objectivist, like Ayn Rand. I agree with her social values. I believe with that level of individualism. I just don't think it works economically. I could go into Rand, but never mind. Ayn Rand, yeah. I'm a futurist, and I believe in kind of the technocracy and stuff. I'm a technocrat, basically, so of some sort. If you build a society, the social change will come. That's what I believe. And that's, my view on scientism and how I feel about, a lot of influences growing up. When I deconverted, a lot of my influences, to be honest, were like, I always wish I was academically inclined. Believe me, I wanted to be a scientist. Well, I thought I wanted to be what I thought was a scientist. A genius in a lab coat doing all kinds of wild things. That's not really what a scientist is. But, I used to watch Carl Sagan's Cosmos and James Burke's How the Universe Changed, or Connections. And to me, when I was deconverting from being a Lutheran altar boy, that was my influences, and I was outside of the counterculture, and my family and the people I knew were not anti-establishment. They were more like middle class. Middle class moderate, but church going. So that was the influences I had growing up being a Lutheran. And so my reward, if you could say, is basically a validation of my views. So it's everything you said, but it's not quite the way you said it. It doesn't justify what you're saying, that the validation is its own reward, but that there is a point to the view. There is. And it's simply that, like I've said before, it's not just a rationalization or justification. It's that rationalism from a naturalist is more important than anti-religious bigotry, secularism. And that's, I think, the whole issue between the whole elevator gate and Thunderfoot and Darwin films and everything. And I feel like some of this is an obfuscation because, that was another part, but I didn't, I'll do that in a later part. But, it was an obfuscation because the secularists want to make everything relative. They want to make everything like, well, since there is no true ground, everything outside of secularism is meaningless. Because it's a deterministic thing, and that really is not here or there once you break it down. And it's like, well, no, that's not true, because naturalism and keeping that alive and free thought and enlightened thinking is something worth fighting for, above any values, including socio-progressive, anti-religious, anti-bigotry religious values, or what's called religious bigotry. I just, I can't state that enough. And, where do you go from there on the argument? Because it's like he said, she said, or, you say, I say. Well, I'm saying that this is higher, and you're saying, well, this is higher. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know how you solve that one. But I think if you're choosing between Kansas School Board rewriting textbooks or being sensitive to Sharia law when respecting their beliefs while they're blowing loudspeakers all over frigging America in accordance with their religious sensitivities, while people think they're making inroads on secular inroads to Islam. Religious bigotry, I guess, because I don't see it. I'm right there with Pat Condell, to be honest. And and the point is, you smile, you're kind of polite, but after a little bit, you're like, this is bullshit. This is complete fucking fucking backward ass bullshit. And the only reason we smiled and were polite in the first place was because you have to doubt yourself, because it's very easy to slip down that slippery slope and say, they're not worth a shit. And John Muhammad Day is right, completely right, and, let's just round them up and friggin' send them back home. Or, well, no, but yeah, it gets, you can friggin' go there. I was a 2-time Bush supporter. Believe me, when I woke up one day and saw the damn things coming down, well, there was a thing about that. It was like, one hand, the left was seeing, I saw this cartoon, the left was seeing a picture, a cartoon, and and underneath it said, not again, and the guy on the left was thinking George Bush, and the guy on the right was thinking the Twin Towers. And this has just been a reverberation of that. From the South Park thing to that British guy getting killed, or that Danish artist, to all all the frigging reverberation in the atheist community. And all the names I mentioned. The big hitters in YouTube. And it's like, well, okay, I'm trying here, even as a social conservative, I mean a cultural conservative, to be understanding, but I no, I'm not. I'm just, it's hard as a skeptic to keep an open mind. It is for me. I'll be honest. That's why I have doubt, because I have self-doubt about my lack of doubt. So that's why I acknowledge your view, because it may not be a view I'm willing to see. And frankly, I'll be honest about it, because, wow. How did our film turn out? And all you guys are just ready to friggin' go out and friggin' say, yes, this is all just friggin' in your mind because we are all individuals and we should all get along in kumbaya. And it's like, nah. Free thought, at least naturalistic enlightenment first, and then we'll get on to frigging maybe having a few tolerances once the boundaries have been set. It kind of pisses me off, to be honest. But, that's just a me problem. And there's a reason for me saying that. That's not justifying my views. The reason I'm bringing all this up is because I'm being forthright and expressing these things. So, I hope you understand that this is me just being honest, objectively forthright, and not trying to justify it, but saying, okay, here's where my head's at. Just to be honest. Not completely, not always, but by inclination, yeah. Alright, I'm having problems here, so I'm gonna go. I hope that clears it up a little bit.